Step back to a Britain where milk bottles clinked on the doorstep at dawn. The smell of coal fires drifted through quiet terraced streets, and every child seemed to know the sound of the rag and bone man's bell. It was the 1960s, an age of black and white television, endless optimism, and small rituals that stitched together the fabric of daily life. There was a gentleness to the rhythm of those days. People waved to their postman, chatted with their grocer, and gathered around the wireless before tea. The world felt slower, not because time moved differently, but because people did. Yet, as decades passed, many of those ordinary rituals simply disappeared. This is not just a list of forgotten habits, it's a time capsule, a journey through 12 everyday things Brits once did, things so normal then, yet now vanished without a trace. Number 1. The morning clink of milk bottles. Every British morning began with a soft metallic chime, the milkman's arrival. Glass bottles stood like sentinels on the doorstep, frosted in winter, beading with dew in summer. Children raced to fetch them before school, peeling back the silver tops to sip the thick cream from the top. The milkman wasn't just a delivery man, he was part of the street's heartbeat. He knew every family, every dog that barked at his float. By the late 80s, the sound of those glass bottles faded. Plastic packaging, supermarket chains, and self-service convenience silenced that gentle ritual. Now, only the faintest memory remains. The echo of a clink at dawn, when Britain still woke to the rhythm of glass and kindness. Number 2. Writing, letters by hand. There was once magic in the post. Blue envelopes, neat cursive handwriting, the thrill of seeing your name on paper. Families wrote weekly to loved ones serving abroad. Couples penned affection with careful ink strokes. And even children wrote thank you letters after birthdays. The postman's arrival was an event, a moment that connected miles with emotion. You'd read each word slowly, knowing someone's time and care had traveled to you. Then came the email, instant, efficient, and empty. The scent of paper, the tiny ink smudge at the corner of a page, the anticipation, all gone. Today we type, we scroll, but the heart no longer lingers between lines the way it did when Britain still spoke in pen and paper. Number 3. Coal fires and the evening glow. As dusk fell across post-war Britain, a familiar crackle filled living rooms, coal fires being stoked to life. The soft orange glow painted walls with warmth, while the faint smell of smoke drifted through the air. Families gathered around, toes warming by the hearth, the wireless murmuring in the background. It wasn't just about heat, it was about home. The fire was the heart of every house, a silent witness to laughter, quiet arguments, and long winter nights. But by the 1970s, coal fires were replaced by gas heaters and electric convenience. Streets no longer smoked, and chimneys fell silent. Cleaner air, yes, but something intangible was lost too, that glowing, flickering soul of a British home. Number 4. The rag and bone man. You'd hear him before you saw him, a distant cry of, "Any old iron!" echoing through narrow streets. The rag and bone man came with his horse and cart, collecting scrap metal, old clothes, and the bits of life people no longer needed. Children watched in awe as he weighed treasures on his cart, the horse snorting softly in the morning chill. He was part recycler, part storyteller, a moving symbol of post-war thrift. But with the rise of wheelie bins and recycling centres, his role faded. The last of the rag and bone men rolled away quietly, taking with them a piece of working-class history. Now the streets are cleaner, but far quieter too. Number 5. Queuing for the phone box. Before mobiles, the red phone box stood like a lifeline on every corner. Glossy, iconic, smelling faintly of rain and pennies. You'd queue outside, waiting your turn as muffled voices echoed within. Students called home. Lovers whispered through the static, and families shared news across miles, all for a few precious coins. In an age before instant messaging, every word mattered. You'd plan what to say, heart racing as the beeps counted down your time. Then came the cordless, then the mobile, and suddenly the phone box was redundant. Most stand empty now, their red paint faded, relics of a more deliberate kind of communication, when conversations had weight and distance made words worth gold. Number 6. School milk breaks. Every British schoolchild remembers the tiny glass bottles lined up in crates by the classroom door. Warm by mid-morning, the milk was both dreaded and loved. Some sipped eagerly, others pinched their noses. It was more than nutrition, it was community. Shared giggles, paper straws, and the clatter of empty bottles marked the rhythm of school days. Then came 1971, when Margaret Thatcher, then Education Secretary, ended free milk for children over 7. The cry of "Thatcher, Thatcher, milk snatcher" echoed across playgrounds. A small thing, perhaps, but it marked the end of an era, one where even milk felt like a shared memory of growing up British. Number 7. Saturday morning cinema clubs. Before television ruled the living room, Saturday mornings belonged to the cinema. Children queued with sixpence in hand, chattering in excitement as they entered smoky picture houses filled with laughter and popcorn. They sang along to the ABC Miners' anthem, waved their badges proudly, and escaped into worlds of cowboys, explorers, and cartoon heroes. It wasn't just entertainment, it was community. The cinema was a second home for post-war childhood. But as television sets multiplied, and later, VHS tapes arrived, those clubs closed one by one. The magic of 100 children cheering in the dark faded into history, leaving only echoes in the dusty seats of forgotten picture houses. Number 8. The doorstep chitchat. Before smartphones and schedules, neighbours spoke, properly spoke. You'd lean against the doorframe, cup of tea in hand, as someone just popped by for a chat. Gossip, advice, recipes, laughter, all traded across thresholds without a clock in sight. Every street had its social glue, woven in moments of casual kindness. Today, doors stay shut, conversations live in group chats, not gardens. The art of the doorstep chat, spontaneous, human, warm, has vanished under the weight of modern isolation. It wasn't just small talk, it was the invisible thread that made Britain feel like one big village. Number 9. Green Shield stamps. There was a thrill in saving them, little green stamps stuck neatly into booklets earned with every purchase. You'd collect, trade, and count them carefully, dreaming of the toaster, radio, or kettle you'd one day claim from the catalogue. It turned shopping into a slow reward, where patience paid off. Families worked together to fill those pages, a small ritual of hope and thrift. But by the late 1980s, loyalty schemes and credit cards took over. The stamp books were tossed, the catalogues forgotten. Green Shield stamps weren't just about saving money. They were about the joy of earning something tangible, something real, a reminder of when loyalty meant effort, not algorithms. Number 10. Sending Christmas cards to everyone. Every December, mantelpieces overflowed with colour. Cards from friends, neighbours, teachers, even the milkman. Children proudly helped post dozens, hands sticky from licking envelopes. The ritual wasn't just about greetings, it was about connection. A simple card carried thought, care, and presence. Now, our wishes arrive as pixels, typed quickly, forgotten instantly. Few postcards anymore, and the December postbags grow lighter each year. But for those who remember, that rustle of envelopes and twinkle of glitter under fairy lights holds a special kind of warmth, a reminder of when Christmas was slower, handwritten, and full of heart. Number 11. The Sunday roast tradition. Every Sunday, the smell of roasting beef drifted through British streets. Families gathered, newspapers on the table, gravy simmering in the kitchen. It was the week's quiet ceremony, Yorkshire pudding rising in the oven, laughter filling the house. No screens, no rush, just togetherness. Today, many eat on the go. Takeaways replace tradition, and Sundays blur into the rest of the week. The roast still exists, but not as the sacred family pause it once was. It was never just a meal. It was a moment when time stopped, and love was served steaming with gravy. Number 12. Watching the evening news together. When the clock struck 9, the nation paused. Families turned down the lights, and the BBC News theme filled living rooms. It was more than information, it was ritual. Parents watched intently, children hushed, the glow of the television flickering across their faces. For 10 quiet minutes, Britain breathed in sync. Now news comes in bursts, endless, on demand, divisive. We scroll instead of listening. We consume instead of reflect. The shared moment is gone. The world got louder, but the meaning grew thinner. Once the news united us, now it simply passes us by. As Britain modernized, the small rituals that defined daily life faded quietly. Convenience replaced connection. Technology replaced touch. The milkman's clink gave way to supermarket aisles. The red phone box to the smartphone glow. Fires turned to radiators, stamps to loyalty apps, and handwritten letters to emojis. Progress brought comfort, speed, and choice, but also distance. The little pauses between people, the smiles, the waiting, the shared silence, slipped through our fingers. We didn't notice them go. We were too busy moving forward. And yet sometimes, in an old photograph, a faint scent of smoke, or a story from our grandparents, we feel them again. A reminder that what vanished wasn't just habit, it was the heartbeat of a gentler, more human Britain. The 1960s were more than a decade, they were a feeling. A time when Britain, still healing from war, built its identity on simple joys. Those everyday things, the milk on the doorstep, the phone box queue, the smell of coal, they weren't grand gestures. They were the quiet, ordinary proofs that people cared. We often think nostalgia is about the past, but really it's about the parts of us that refuse to fade. The values, the warmth, the togetherness. The 60s remind us that connection isn't something you download, it's something you live. Yes, life today is faster, cleaner, easier, but perhaps that's why we look back. Not because we want to return, but because we miss how it felt to belong. The past is gone, but its echoes remain in our manners, our humor, our yearning for something real. And maybe, just maybe, remembering isn't about living in the past. It's about carrying forward the best of it, because the world moves on. But the spirit of those vanished days still lingers in the sound of rain on a window, in a neighbor's wave, in the warmth of shared silence, a whisper from a time when ordinary life was anything but a gentle echo, reminding us that the smallest moments often hold the greatest meaning.